Welcome back to another great episode of Rendezvous with Alysia. Our last show was the sponsor, RCG Mortgage with Andrew Russell, and he's such a great guy. You'll see him on my third row below if you're looking to get a mortgage or you're interested in a pre-approval from him. He works in all 50 states and he's incredible. But anyway, today's show is the one and only John Lennon from Lennon's Flags. Lennon's Flags has been around for years. They're a huge Long Island company. And I need to get to the bottom of this. Now, John and I have a close connection. He is engaged to one of my best friends.
Yes.
Really, and it's like so exciting. But John and I actually kind of were Facebook friends in the same circles from New York, even before him and Mary, got engaged. We ran in the same circles on social media. So when I finally got to meet John, I'm like, oh my God, John, it's you. But anyway, John, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Congratulations on the new program. This is going to be great.
Thank you. So I film half in studio, half out in the field, and half here. So if you can't get Myrtle Beach, we bring it here because I have to have you on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because nothing can get in the way. We have to produce the show. We got to get this thing out there. So wherever you are, that's where the cameras should be.
Yes, exactly. Tomorrow I'm filming this whole big skit at a local restaurant, and it's going to be so much fun. The cameras are going to follow me out in the field, so we'll enjoy that.
Oh, that's great.
Enough about me.
Right.
I want to talk to John Lennon, and I want to know all about Lennon Flags. Now, John, this is a family business, right? You're with a family business. I want to know all about it.
It's 27 years, actually almost 28 years now.
Yeah.
So my dad, who's John Lennon, I'm John Lennon, and my son is John Lennon. So the three of us have put in flagpoles all over Long Island.
Wow.
But my dad started the business 27 years ago. He was actually a one-man show contractor. He did a lot of decks, and he lived in Montauk. So he had a lot of business out on the East End. And he hit 60, and he said, oh, everything hurts. I can't get down and do tile. I can't paint. Like, everything is hurting. I said, oh, okay, Dad. Well, what are you going to do? He said, I'm going to sell flagpoles. I looked at him like he was crazy. I said, what are you even talking about? I'm like, is that a business? And of course, my dad could sell anything. So he's like, of course it's a business, Jack. I got this. Don't worry about it. And he did for 20 years. He sold flagpoles. I mean, his flagpoles are all over from Hampton Bays out to Montauk. They're at every marina. They're at every restaurant. And then the residential work that we did was tremendous. Now, my dad he got sick when he turned 80, but he did it till he was almost 80 years old. And he would just get somebody to help him. Usually we would come help him. Or when my son got a little bit older, he would say, get Jackie out here. I need him for the day. So I would bring Jack out there and we would either work together or we'd work with my dad side by side, which actually was pretty amazing for my son to see, because I grew up, when I was going through college, I used to come out for the summers out to Montauk, and I would dig the holes for the decks that he was building. I would get to a job site and there would be 50 little flags in the ground. And I said, what's this, Dad? That's what you're doing today. I'm like, I'm digging all those holes? Yeah. And then he would, of course, have something else to do. And
of course, like have it
come back at the end of the day. Yeah, he would come back, and that would be it. We would do decks and extensions. But it was a great experience to work with him when I was younger, and I was so happy that my son got that same opportunity.
Yeah.
And three John Lennons, out on a job site kind of makes for a good story to whoever you're telling it to.
Triple J's. Who's putting your flagpole in? The Triple J's.
That's right. Yeah. When he passed away, we changed the name to Lennon Flags to honor him, because it was called Perfideck Flag and Flagpole Company and Construction. And I'm like, Dad, I don't even know how you would type that in on a website. Like, we need to change it. So he kind of gave his blessing before he passed away to change it to Lennon Flags, and then he handed the reins over to us.
Oh, I love it. So I love it. And then now you recently opened a storefront. So you had a warehouse, and then you went to a storefront. I believe it's in Montauk.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Now, what was that like, opening a store?
It's scary. It's
Yeah.
scary because I've never had a store. I've never owned a store doing anything.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's easy when you have a warehouse with flagpoles. You show up, you load the truck, you close the door, and you're done. And now we have a store. So I'm like, boy, what am I even going to sell in here? Obviously, our big thing is pushing people towards our flagpoles and educating them, which is nice. Now that we have a store, we can actually, people can come in and sort of just get very comfortable with that purchase, because
Yeah.
it's not always an inexpensive purchase. So that's nice. But now I'm responsible with finding all kinds of new tchotchkes and hats and shirts and, you know, garden flags for this, I mean, you name it. We've got the store now loaded with all kinds of merch. And I have a girl from Wantagh who she comes in 5 days a week, and we only open for 5 hours, but it's enough. And it's a great way for everybody in the community to know we're in Nassau County now, because we were in Suffolk and we were crushing it with the flagpoles, but we really couldn't establish ourselves in Nassau County because there was a company that had been in business about 50 years. And the guy had a wonderful business. I always wonder, I'm like, how come I can barely get Nassau County work? And it was because of him. He ran a really great business, which you got to applaud when somebody has a business that long. But he passed away, and he didn't leave it to anybody, and it's eventually, you know, closed up for whatever reason. So about 3 years ago, we started getting more and more calls from that area. And now with me marrying your good friend Mary, she's in Wantagh. So I'm like, let's see if we can find something close by, maybe in Nassau County. It'll help with the business in Nassau, and eventually it'll be a close drive for me to get to work.
Exactly.
So you know, Mary, she's like, you know, she's one of 8 kids. So,
Yes.
you know, we put it out there that, you know, I was looking for this place, and it was actually her brother-in-law that found this place for me driving by one day.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. So, John, I want you to give advice. So,
Mm.
so your father had the business. He brought you in, brought your son in. This is a family entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Let's give some advice here, because I feel like, now, first of all, I also want to talk, your flag was on the news like about 2 months ago. When you had the diner on the news, and we were all like, Lennon Flags. I remember. But anyway, I'm so excited to have you on all over the place. But anyway, let's talk about the entrepreneurship journey from father to son to grandson. Now, how has that been like? Have you butted heads being in a family business? Is it a smooth ride? Now, your son is also in the Navy, isn't he?
Yeah, so
Don't
he
give her
flat left me 5 years ago. So he was digging holes, and it was wonderful. And then you know, I mean, I'm so proud of him. He's in the Navy, and I know your son, you know, being a Marine, you know how that feels as a
Yes,
parent. You
yes.
just, you know, you worry, but you feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
And I think you know, a big reason why he went in the Navy was his grandpa was a Navy guy, and he got to go out and, you know, with me for 3 years before he went in, because he was 15 when he started working with me in this business. And he got to shake hands and meet veterans and hear stories, and especially, you know, those old time you know, Vietnam vets.
Yeah.
There's so many stories, and, you know, some of these guys even have war rooms in their houses where they want to show you what they have, and they could care less to teach me any of that stuff, but they would bring my son in and say, come here, look at this, look what I got over here. And then they would tell an amazing story about, you know, about when they were at war over there. So listen, my son is one of these guys, like, we hardly ever butted heads. I'll tell you one funny story once is, he was sometimes a little hard to wake up in the mornings. And I would say, listen, I'm leaving, I'm pulling out at 7 a.m. Whether you're in this car or not, I'm pulling out. And you know I'll be upset if I get home and you're not in this car digging holes with me today. And he was walking out the door. It was 7:01, and I backed out and I left him in the driveway. So that was like kind of the only time that we really, like, he didn't argue back, but he was like, wow, Dad just left me in the driveway. And I'm like, yeah, I left you in the driveway. Yeah. And now now he's, you know, 18, emancipated, you know, out on his own.
And he'll
you
never
know,
be a minute late again.
never be a minute late for anything now.
Ever.
Yeah. So maybe that was a good lesson to teach him. We'll see.
It was. What
But
about you and your dad? Did you guys ever butt heads about, business as you were getting more and more into the business? Did you guys ever butt heads? Like, is it hard working with your father? Is it hard?
you know what? It was not hard working with my father. I mean, when I was younger and I was working decks with him, it was hard
Yeah.
because if you did something wrong, I didn't think he was a good communicator, and I like, you're telling me to dig here, but then you pointed over there, and we would go back and forth a little bit more about communication. But Jack and I never had that problem. And actually, when my dad started the flagpole business, we never really had any issues. But
Excellent.
my dad grew this business by all the clients he already knew from his construction work, which is probably the reason why he decided to do flagpoles. Is several clients probably said, "Hey, I want to put a flagpole. Can you put a flagpole in the property?"
Right,
And
exactly.
he learned how to do it. And so he did that, 20 years. So when we stepped in, he was already 80 years old. He had cancer. He wasn't feeling well. And, his advice to me really, he told me two things. He said, "Don't change my prices. They're perfect. I've got them absolutely perfect." And the other thing he said is, "Don't change my vendors. For 20 years, I've figured out the right people to work with who
Oh,
have
that's
integrity,
important.
who are good." And I didn't. And listen, honestly, for 2.5 years, I didn't change the prices either. But then, you have to change your prices at some point.
At
So,
some point, yeah, especially with what's gone on since the pandemic and stuff like that. Sean, let me see. You are blowing up. Two questions I want to know everything that you do for our veterans, because I know you do so much, but you have a lot of competition, or you have some competition. Don't mention any names or anything, but
no.
you do. You have competition on Long Island. What's it like working with that?
Well, the competition actually, I don't really stress about it. We approach what we do with kind of like really three pillars. What one is be good at your craft. I don't care if you're putting something in the ground that needs to be plumb and level, or if you're doing what you're doing with the real estate and with all the podcasting. And it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a plumber, if you're a computer science person, to be good at your craft is not easy. You really should be always working on making everything you do perfect. And we do, even to this day. Like, I don't like when a little piece of dirt gets on somebody's grass. I'm like, no, we got to make everything pristine. Like, it's got to be a fine oiled machine. So be good at your craft. And then the number two thing is just be kind. It's so easy. It's like people say customer service. I don't say that. I just say, just be nice to people. Please and thank you matter. If
Yeah,
you get to somebody's house and they didn't bring up the garbage can, bring up their garbage can. What is it going to take you, a second? You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, bring their paper up to them, smile, say hello, answer the phone, get back to people on time. And then the last thing is deliver as quickly as humanly possible. So if we get a call, like even right now, I'll be honest with you, like I saw my phone, it lit up. I have it on mute, but it lit up. And if that's for a job where somebody wants a flagpole, we have a slot open tomorrow. I'll slide them in there. Like, we'll do it. If I have merchandise on the shelves, it does me no good. Let's get it off the shelf and let's put it in the ground.
Right.
So like those three things have, I think in some ways, hurt my competitors quite a bit, because there's a couple people that have been doing it for a really long time. And I think that they've gotten a bit complacent. They in some ways they might make people jump through hoops in order to get the flagpole. Not us. We don't ask them to do a site plan. We don't ask them to take pictures of where they want it. We don't ask them what's in the ground. Are there roots or stumps? Are there sprinklers? It's we still have to dig. We're going to dig gingerly. We're going to do the right job for them. I don't need to make people jump through hoops. We talk about the product and we get it out to them. So in some ways, yeah, I have some competitors and competitors that have been in business for a really long time, but I don't worry about it. I just feel like our growth. I mean, my dad was doing 30 flagpoles a year when he passed away. We did 300 last year. In 2 years, I was just telling Mary this. I said, Mary, in 2 years, I want to be doing 1,000 flagpoles a year. And I don't think there's anything stopping us.
No.
So I do get if I hear something like a client of mine maybe talked to another competitor and then came to us, they almost always book with us. So I really don't worry too much about my competitors on Long Island.
I
Yeah.
didn't think you did. I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought I would ask. I didn't think you did. Let's talk about the veterans, John. You're a Blue Star family. I'm a Blue Star family.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for our veterans, John. Talk about some. I mean, you've done free flagpoles. You've done donation. I mean, I watch you on social media. I'm like, this guy loves our veterans.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, Mary and I will be sitting here. We're like, let's do a flagpole giveaway. Let's put it out on social media. Everybody, give me a name of someone in your family or a friend that's a veteran. I'm going to put their name in a hat and we're going to draw it tonight. And we'll do that. We don't do it every month, but we try to do it several times a year where we're giving away a flagpole to a Long Island veteran.
Yeah,
The other thing I do is I love to give flagpoles away to the AMVETS halls. So like right here in East Islip, over in Wantagh, I'm getting to know those people. Some of these great organizations, they're having a hard time getting new members, which is how they always raise money to stay afloat. So I'll donate a flagpole to them that's, they can raffle off and make a couple $1,000s on it. And, hopefully that helps them. So, we try to do that stuff. There's a great charity. I don't know if you've heard of it out here. It's called Bravo Foxtrot. And this guy goes into like the woods and finds homeless veterans and helps them to get all the other services that they might need. So, we donate to him when we can. And, we definitely try to give to the veteran whenever we can. I mean, for sure, if somebody's buying a flagpole from us, they're getting their military branch underneath the American flag. We just bring it, we surprise them. We hang it up and we're like, thank you for being a Marine. We put a Marine flag. Yeah. So we just love to do that. And then, if anybody has kids, we want the kids to raise the flag for the first time. This is for your dad, he was in the Army, raise this flag. And the little kids raise the flag and the mom's videoing it and sending it to the dad. Everybody's crying and laughing at the same time. It's great.
Well, you did the flag, what was it, for the Embassy Diner? And then they happened to be on the news and you're like right there. Like, what happened there? That was amazing.
Well, you know what's funny? So that was a referral. So Gus at the Embassy Diner who did he know? Well, he knew somebody that I put in a flagpole for. And he called me up and he said, John, can you come down and we'd like to put a big flagpole. And as soon as I got to his place, I mean, if you've ever been to the Embassy Diner, people on Long Island know it. It is red, white, and blue all summer long, from the roof down to the carpet you walk in on. And it is, just little signs and pictures. And Gus is always, he can remember everybody's name. And he's like, John, this is a veteran here, and this is a police officer. And so, so they were, it was Project Thank a Cop.
Gotcha.
And Fox came in to talk to Project Thank a Cop, and they hosted it all at Gus's Diner. And literally this year we put a big, it's nearly 40 feet flagpole out in front of his place. Yeah. With a great big, 8 by 12 foot flag. He's like, make it bigger. Yeah.
I love it. Well, John, if people wanted to get a flag, let's get some, you have a website, a Facebook, a phone number, an email. How do we get in contact with you?
Yeah, I mean, we're on all of it. So it's lennonflags.com. That's our website. Somebody said that the AI engine actually the other day picked us up as the #1 flagpole company on Long Island, which I was like, thank goodness. I've been telling AI for a year now we're #1. They're finally listening to us. But we also have Facebook, Lennon Flags. Instagram is Lennon Flags. TikTok is Lennon Flags. So, any of those. And, do you want me to give our phone number too?
Of course.
Oh, so, yeah, sure. 631-579-5839. And when we're not answering the phone in the store, it rings to my cell. And, there's never really a day off for Lennon Flags. We just love to put in flagpoles, and there's nothing like being on somebody's property and then, 2 hours later walking away with a beautiful flag flying. It's the best feeling. And it's really a wonderful feel-good business. I'm so blessed that my dad started this, and I'm so blessed that we have it now. I'm glad that my son's in the Navy because he's loving it, and he just signed up for another 3 years. But if he ever decides to come out, this business will be strong for him to take over.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Oh God. So I'm just gonna end the show with 5 rapid fire questions. Okay.
Okay.
Very easy, John. Very easy.
Sure.
So,
Sure they are.
okay. They're very okay. You ready?
Yeah.
It's gonna be probably the same that I ask everybody, but anyway, chocolate or vanilla?
Oh, chocolate.
Okay. Iced or hot coffee?
Hot.
Giants or Jets?
Lions.
You guys stumped me on that one. Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Yeah, me too. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Everybody else was like Mets. I'm like, no, Yankees.
No.
Yankees.
Come on.
Okay, and the final question, and this is a yes or no. Did you
Okay.
ever wear Dracar and Cavaricis?
I don't even know what that is. It sounds like a dessert. What are you talking about?
Cavaricis, the pants that we all wore in the 80s, like the MC Hammer pants, and Dracar was that cologne that, everybody.
Oh, yes. It's all coming back to me. No, I was an AC/DC fan.
Okay, I'm like, Dracar, Cavaricis. AC. Oh, so I should have did Disco or Rock. I should have did Disco or Rock. You would have rock. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on our show. We'll have all of your links put across the bottom. If anybody wants to get a flagpole, we'll be sure to get them out. Now, from your store, do you ship? Can people have things shipped from your store?
Yeah, but just on Long Island.
Just on Long Island.
Just on Long
Okay.
Island. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Amazing.
Alysia, I'm so happy for you. This is going to be great. I can't wait to watch this channel grow. This will be amazing.